Welcome to Sports Quake. It is NBA Finals time.
Literally
Crafty.
in 15 minutes. Literally.
Crafty.
What's good?
Lakers, Heat.
Yeah,
LeBron versus
Heat.
the Heat.
Well, and his ex-coach, Eric Spoelstra.
And his ex-coach. LeBron has a history with the Heat. I don't know if you know that or not.
Oh, no, yeah. I was completely ignorant of
that. His first ever NBA title actually came when he was playing for the Heat when he couldn't win it in Cleveland.
Yes, this is true.
Then he went back to Cleveland, won it there.
Yes.
Went out to the West because everyone said the competition in the East is too easy for LeBron.
And now people are saying the competition this year was too easy in the West.
Oh, and then they said the Blazers are going to beat LeBron. They're the best 8 seed in NBA history. They're going to beat LeBron. 5 games.
And they didn't. 5 games.
They're like, oh, the Clippers. The Clippers are the best team in the West. LeBron does not stand a chance against the Clippers.
They didn't even make it.
The Rockets, one of the best shooting teams in the NBA right now. 5 games.
5 games.
And then Denver, who came back down 3-1, back-to-back series, including against the Clippers. Went down 3-1 against the Lakers, and what happened?
5 games.
5 games.
Absolutely.
So now the Lakers are going on to face the Miami Heat.
In the NBA Finals.
Who, if you had said a couple months ago that the NBA Finals is going to be played against the Heat and the Lakers, a lot of people would have looked at you and said, what are you talking about?
Right.
It's going to be the Celtics and the Bucks and the Lakers or the Clippers.
Right.
And now the Heat are there. And let's get into this here. Who do you think is going to win this whole series?
Okay, so easy prediction. I think the Lakers are going to win it all. But what I'm saying is Lakers in 6 games or Heat in 7. If it goes to 7 games, it's instantly going to the Heat.
Okay.
Because of the heart of that team, you put pressure on them. They perform very well under pressure.
That Heat culture that they've had this postseason.
Right. But if the Lakers can get a head start on winning, I can't see the Heat coming back from it.
What do you think the Heat need to do then in order to win this series?
In order to win the series, for one, they got to feed the hot hand. Tyler Hero's got to be on top of his game. Kendrick Nunn's got to be on top of his game. Goran Dragic, they all have to be on top of their game at all times.
Okay.
Bam Adebayo can't sell like he looked like he was going to do against the Celtics. You can't do that. They've got to play at the best of their ability every single game. They got to get their wing defenders and Jimmy Butler. They got to get them out here. They got to make sure that they are guarding off the ball, on the ball. Defense, I think, is the name of the game when you're playing against the Lakers.
I also agree with you. I have Lakers in 6. Mm-hmm. However, if you've watched the last 2 prediction videos, I predicted that this would be Nuggets and Celtics.
You did.
I can't get a prediction right. So I want the Heat to win. So I'm saying Lakers in 6.
Okay, so you're saying Lakers in 6, but in your heart.
In my heart, I think the Heat are going to win it all here.
Okay.
But I don't want to bet against LeBron. You cannot bet against LeBron.
It's true. You cannot, especially in a year like this year when we got social injustices, the NBA bubble, Kobe Bryant's passing. LeBron is just done. So he's trying to get them out of there in 4 games.
Yeah,
because he just wants to go home.
It'd be crazy if it was Lakers in 5 because they beat every single team in this playoff so far in 5 games.
That would be crazy if they continue the whole streak.
I don't think they can. I think this Heat team is way too tough and they're way too hot right now.
Yeah, the popular opinion right now is a Lakers sweep, actually, or Lakers in 5, which I just think that that's really disrespecting this Miami Heat team because they have been underdogs the entire year.
I was not a believer. I'm a huge Celtics fan, and I was not a believer that the Heat were going to beat us.
Mm-hmm.
What did I say? Celtics in 5?
Yeah,
a gentleman's sweep? And then it went Heat in 6?
Right.
I was 1 game off from the game total on the complete opposite direction
on the opposite team.
In my opinion, the Heat versus the Lakers, the Heat have the overall talent to beat the Lakers team.
I think they can do it, yes.
They do not have the star power talent that you find on this Lakers roster.
Right. A good comparison is the 2004 Pistons. They didn't have a star either, but they did win the NBA championship against the Lakers. So I mean, if they can just play like that team.
You see, behind the Lakers, you have LeBron, you have Anthony Davis.
Yes.
You're looking at the Heat, you have the true underdog team with Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo, Jimmy Butler, Jay Crowder, Dragic, and Duncan Robinson.
Absolutely.
Do you know when they were drafted? Do you know any of their picks, how underdog much they are on that starting lineup and on that roster?
Jimmy Butler was the last pick of the first round, I believe.
30th pick.
And then Duncan Robinson didn't get drafted. Tyler Hero was the 14th pick, I believe. 13th pick.
Bam was
Kendrick Nunn was undrafted.
Yep. Bam was 14th.
Bam was 14th pick.
Jay Crowder was 34th, and Dragic was 45th.
Yeah.
This whole team is underdogs. This is a true underdog story here in this finals. And who can't root for the underdogs?
I mean, you can, but it can be kind of hard sometimes watching the underdogs, you know? But this Heat team, it's crazy. What's even crazier to me is the intangible emotional story behind Bam Adebayo and Jimmy Butler, who both literally, I don't know about the other guys, they may have to, but I know specifically these two guys have came from absolutely nothing. Jimmy Butler specifically he's not a ranked recruit in high school at all. And now he's in the NBA finals and looking good and looking amazing. And Jimmy Butler was also called to be a problem in the locker room. I don't know about you, but I haven't heard a single report as long as he's been on the Heat about him being a problem.
He is a leader in that locker room, in my opinion.
I think a lot of teams didn't want him to be the leader. They couldn't handle his form of leadership because it could be related to Jordan's when it comes to coming off as, a jerk.
Yeah. In the locker room, he is the leader. On the court, though, Bam Adebayo is the leader of this Heat team.
I don't think there is a leader on the court.
On the court, it goes to Bam. And in this matchup, we are going to see Bam on some possessions guarding LeBron and then guarding Davis in the same possession.
Mm-hmm.
Some people don't think he's good enough for that.
I think he could do it.
Jimmy Butler is quoted saying about Bam. This is about Bam, by the way. I love the fact that he wants that pressure. He wants all of that on his shoulders, and that's why he's the heart and soul of this team. He's one of our leaders, and that's what stars do. He's put himself on the map since coming into the league. He's huge for us, will continue to be that. He knows how special he has to play in these next 4 wins.
And that sounds pretty – you got to notice what Jimmy Butler said there at the end. The next 4 wins. Jimmy Butler is fully confident that they will beat the Lakers. And that's another thing that the Heat have is a bunch of confident people. Because being the underdog, you have to be confident.
I don't know if you heard the story after Game 5 loss to the Celtics about Bam Adebayo coming out and saying that loss is on him.
Yes, he was very upset with himself.
And he's like, I'm going to go put extra time in the gym. And Jimmy Butler clapped back and said, that loss is not on you. You don't put this all on your shoulders. That was a team loss. We lose as a team.
Yes.
That's culture.
Yes. So you have 2 very different kinds of players on that. Jimmy Butler's looking at it as the team could have played better, but Bam Adebayo is looking at himself and saying, the team could have played better if I would have played better.
Absolutely.
So I respect that so much about Bam because from a basketball fan's perspective, not a player, that loss was on him. And he could have played way better. Obviously, I believe it is a team sport. But the fact that Bam Adebayo wasn't hard-headed enough, he was what's the word for it? He was open-minded enough to believe that it was him who could have played better and putting it on himself.
He's the reason they won Game 4.
He is the reason they won Game 4.
That chase down block at the end of the game.
And then game 6, he put up 32 points.
Yeah, he went off in Game 6.
Absolutely.
Tyler Hero went off in Game 4.
Tyler Hero just goes off every game. I'm so surprised by this guy.
He's on fire right now.
Absolutely. I do want to talk about one thing about the Heat, though, that I would say they don't have more than the Lakers, but it's something that people are overlooking. So the Lakers have 10-time NBA finalist LeBron James. Yeah. Light work. But if we look at the Heat team, they're not short of veterans either. This is Andre Iguodala's 6th straight NBA finals. Udonis Haslem, I want to say this is his 6th finals too, not straight though.
He's been on every single Heat final.
Exactly.
Every time
he was
the Heat
with
had
the
made the
Wayne Wade and
finals,
Shaq.
he was there.
He was with the Wayne Wade and Shaq. He was with LeBron, Chris Bosh, and LeBron. I mean, and Dwayne Wade. Udonis Haslem may not be the world's biggest part of this NBA team. I don't even know if I've seen him hit the court at all. But in the huddles, in the locker room, that man knows how to win a championship. He's seen it happen on his own team, and he's going to help them do it along with Andre Iguodala.
Every time the Heat have been in the finals, he has been a part of the roster.
Absolutely.
There's not once in history that the Heat have made the finals and he wasn't a part of that team.
Yes.
That's crazy. Every time
he was just a role player too, but it's still crazy.
He's the only one on that roster who was there back the first time that he made the finals.
Yep.
The only one who's been there this whole time.
It's an amazing feat if you look at it, because most role players, when you're a role player in an NBA team, especially if Udonis Haslem's, you don't stay on that team long. The teams will more than likely keep their stars before they get rid of you. Udonis Haslem has not been kicked off or traded from this team.
Jay Crowder's a big example of that.
Absolutely.
He used to be on the Celtics. He was a Celtics role player.
Yeah, he was a Mavericks role player for a while too.
And now he's
in the Grizzlies, and now he's here.
he's going everywhere.
But I think he's found a good spot here in Miami. This Miami team, if they lose the NBA Finals this year, I say that people are trying to say that they need to go for Giannis next offseason. I don't even think that's worth it. I think that's going to ruin what this team already has. I say keep this team together. Let Tyler Hero get better, Duncan Robinson and Kendrick Nunn. This team will win an NBA Finals in the next 3 years.
The Celtics are also going to be that hard in the East. Every year now, right now, I think the East is starting to look better than the West.
It is starting to look better. I wouldn't say it's better than the West, because next year you have to consider what the Warriors are going to look like. Then you're going to have the Warriors, Clippers, and Lakers. Those are the 3 best teams in the NBA straight up.
Celtics, Heat, Bucks, Nets.
Okay, those teams. Okay, I understand. You're looking at so the 3 best teams in the NBA. My power rankings at least. Okay. Lakers, Clippers, Warriors. The 3 heaviest teams. Okay, let me hear me out. The Warriors next year will have a healthy Stephen Curry, a healthy Klay Thompson, Andrew Wiggins, whoever they choose as in the second round, or if they trade, and Draymond Green, who doesn't put up stats but will still get that, is the heart of that team.
Yeah.
That team it was the best team in the league 3 years ago, or 4 years ago before they had Kevin Durant. I don't doubt that they're still going to be the best team in the league. That's still 4 All-Stars right there.
Okay. I see your point there.
Because they're more than likely going to trade that second pick unless they want to pick up Wiseman, but they're in a win now mentality. So picking up a young star is not something they're going to be interested in.
Yeah, they'll probably pick up another star player for that team.
Absolutely. I mean, and I understand what you're saying, but we don't know what the Nets are going to look like with a KD coming off an injury, especially and the Kyrie. Injury he had. And Kyrie injury and deciding not to play in the bubble. His last basketball game was at the beginning of this season.
Yeah.
So that's going to be pretty crazy for him too, getting adjusted.
Celtics are young.
The Raptors just lost one of their most important players. Marc Gasol just actually a couple minutes ago announced that he's leaving the NBA and going to play in Spain.
Really?
Yes. So they lost a very vital player. I saw it literally right before this. And then Pascal Siakam it's Pascal Siakam, Kyle Lowry, and Fred VanVleet. Like that, I don't feel like that team's going to be that good next year. I think they'll make the playoffs again, but I don't think they'll go as far as they did this year.
All right, so we've talked about a lot about the Heat, and we both predicted the Lakers to win.
Yeah.
Why do you think the Lakers will win?
2 words. LeBron James and Anthony Davis. But
that's 4 words now.
Okay, my bad. You can't underestimate LeBron. And I know it's really difficult to say that a team is going to win because one player. But when that one player is one of the top 3 best players of all time, I don't think it's that ridiculous to say. Now, obviously, he's up there in age, but this man has changed his entire play style and is still the best player in the league, either in front of or behind
the most stress he's ever had into an NBA Finals.
Absolutely. It's not something that you should definitely take with a grain of salt. If I'm the Heat, I'm making sure that we know that we need to get on LeBron. And this year, LeBron has, I would say, arguably the best player he's ever had on his team. Anthony Davis. Because Dwayne Wade was great, but he wasn't what Anthony Davis was now when he was on the Heat.
I agree with that. I agree. Anthony Davis is in his prime right now.
This is the best teammate we've ever seen LeBron have.
Talking about Anthony Davis, we talked about Bam earlier. Bam versus AD is a matchup that we'll probably see a bunch. They have played each other 6 times. Yes. AD has won 4 of those 6 matchups and has not lost since being on the Lakers against Bam.
Mm-hmm.
They have never met in the playoffs, but their averages in the regular season, Anthony Davis, 31.5 points per game, Bam, 8.5.
Yes.
10 rebounds for Davis, 9 for Bam.
Mm-hmm.
3.8 assists for Bam, 3.7 for Anthony Davis, 2 steals for Davis, half a steal for Bam, and 3.7 blocks for Davis, 0.8 blocks for Bam.
All right. It looks really bad when you look at the stat like that.
Yes.
But my counter argument to that would be, you said they've met what, 6 times in the NBA?
Yes. 2 times this year.
Yeah. 4 of those games were when Bam was not developed the way he is now. 2 of those times, I don't want to jump too far, but were before the NBA restart, I believe.
Yes.
So Bam Adebayo is a completely different player than he was.
Oh yeah, he's a different player in the bubble.
I know for a fact he's going to average more than what he averaged against Anthony Davis before.
8.5
But the real
points.
question is, can he? Yeah, 8.5 points. Can he step up enough against Anthony Davis? Because Anthony Davis, defensive player of the year candidate, all defensive first team. Bam Adebayo has got to do something on offense that Anthony Davis has not seen him do before.
The game highs in all their matchups, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Bam Adebayo is 12 points. That's the highest he has ever put up against Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis has put up 45 in a game against Bam.
Yes.
That may have been when he was with the Pelicans. I don't know if that was with the Pelicans or the Lakers, but Anthony Davis has put up a 45-point game against Bam.
Absolutely.
And Bam is arguably should have been NBA first team all defense.
Yes. Bam Adebayo versus Anthony Davis is going to be one of my favorite matchups.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't, as great as Bam Adebayo can be on defense, because he is by no means a bad defender.
Oh, he's one of the best defenders in the league.
Absolutely. And it's weird because last year we wouldn't have even thought about that with him.
Oh, no, we wouldn't.
But he's undersized compared to Anthony Davis. They're about this. I would say their athleticism is pretty next to each other, because Bam is a lot faster than we give him credit for.
Oh, yeah.
He's a lot more athletic than we do. But
Anthony Davis
is just, his offense and his defense together. When you look at Bam, you can see a player who is going to consistently give you about 19 points a game, but be great on defense. You look at Anthony Davis, you see a player that's going to give you dang near 30 points and be great on defense.
Be amazing at defense.
I can almost guarantee Anthony Davis is going to blow that matchup out of the water. That's why I think this series is going to be way more determined on how Jimmy Butler does on offense. He's not an offensive star by any means.
Okay.
He can put up 18 points a game. And I don't know what you consider a star, but that's not what I consider a star. I consider that a good player.
I agree with that.
I think he's going to step up. He's going to have to step up on offense. His defense wins them games so much, but he's going to have to step up.
What do you
Tyler
think
Herro is
the
going to have to
answer?
play like a baller.
We mentioned this last time when we talked about the Nuggets. LeBron and AD. Bam can only cover one of them at a time.
Exactly.
Who's covering the other?
I think you have to have Anthony Davis. You have to have Bam Adebayo and Anthony Davis.
Not LeBron?
You don't have another defender for him. Myers Leonard is the next center on that team.
You don't have another defender for LeBron either.
Exactly. You have to choose one of them. And right now, the offensive first option on that Lakers team is Anthony Davis.
Okay.
He averages more points. So that's why I'm saying he's the first option. And I think you're going to have to do it game by game. Mm-hmm. And you're going to have to figure something out. For LeBron, your best option, maybe even possession by possession. But even with LeBron, your best option is going to be Jimmy Butler. And that's not a great option.
Do you see the Heat playing in the zone that you saw famously destroyed the Celtics?
I think that they're going to play what they know first with that zone. Mm-hmm. And if it doesn't work, they're going to have to go to man-to-man or another zone.
That zone seemed to have great effects against the Celtics.
Absolutely.
But it's on film now. It wasn't on film going into the Celtics series.
And I guarantee you LeBron has been sitting there the whole time. I mean, just staring at that screen like, okay, I know how to get around that.
And the Celtics cracked it.
Right.
Game
and eventually
6, they weren't able to run it.
Absolutely.
He couldn't run it in game 6. So the Celtics had cracked it, and they changed it up, and the Celtics couldn't recrack it.
Which was a brilliant thing from Brad Stevens, an amazing coach. He found that system. Eric Spoelstra is, I would say, a better coach than Brad Stevens. No offense to your Celtics. No offense to your Celtics.
I think Brad Stevens is one of the greatest coaches in the NBA right now.
I think Eric Spoelstra should have won Coach of the Year this year. Okay. My reasoning for Eric Spoelstra when he should have won Coach of the Year.
Okay.
The way this Heat team is playing.
Okay. The Heat look good.
On paper, I didn't even think they'd make the playoffs at the beginning of the year.
And then they started playing.
And then they started playing, and then I was like, okay, this team's probably going to go to the NBA Finals. I am on record of saying that. So I feel proud of this. But where was I at? Okay. Anyway, the Heat team were led by Eric Spoelstra, this team of misfits. Bam Adebayo, underdogs and misfits. Because you have Jimmy Butler. People were like, he's going to cause problems in Miami. He left the Timberwolves. He's just going to go cause problems. He left the 76ers. He's going to go cause problems in Miami. I think Eric Spoelstra is a reason also why there hasn't been any locker room problems. I think Eric Spoelstra works with Jimmy Butler really well. And then all these undrafted, low-picked players making the NBA Finals, I think that is one of the biggest cases for Coach of the Year I've ever seen. I'm appalled that Nick Nurse won it.
I see that.
So I think that Eric Spoelstra can, even if you think Brad Stevens is a better coach, I still think that's something Eric Spoelstra could have done, which is break that defense. The Lakers, on the other hand, are going to have to play very hard on the perimeter and then Anthony Davis lower in the paint.
To take out Bam, who's going to
take out Bam. But even then, Bam Adebayo can hit perimeter shots.
He can.
So he is also scary on the perimeter as well.
He can. It's gonna be weird for the Lakers on how they're gonna play this defense because Heat have shooters all over the place, and beyond AD and LeBron, the Lakers don't have the greatest defense.
Yes, this is true. I personally don't think you can run a zone against the Heat.
I don't think so either. Because
they're all scary from the perimeter, but if you want them to drive in, they'll drive in on you every single time.
And they're all walking buckets right now.
Absolutely. Goran Dragic is on fire right now. Tyler Hero's on fire.
Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero, Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo.
Solomon Hill's doing okay, but
that whole team. Jay Crowder even.
Yeah, even Jay Crowder. And then we saw Iguodala pop out for 15 points in the last game.
Yeah. It's crazy.
When that Heat team clicks, they're scary. And I think that's just what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to click. Kendrick Nunn, I think, is also going to be a very important part of this series.
And they have that culture.
When Goran Dragic leaves, when Goran Dragic goes on the bench, Kendrick Nunn's got to step up against either Rondo or LeBron, whoever they put at point guard. it's or Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, whatever happens. It's going to be tough for the Heat. But I still stand by the fact that the Heat could win in 7 games. I don't see the Heat winning in any less games though, because I think they have to figure the Lakers out first.
I am not going to underestimate this Heat team. I already have, and I'm not doing it again. I highly underestimated them against the Celtics. I actually highly underestimated them against the Bucks.
Yes.
I have highly underestimated them all season. I'm done underestimating them.
They've made you eat your words.
They earned my respect as a dominant NBA team this season. And I'm excited for these finals. I actually think it's going to come down to 6 or 7 games. I think it's going to be
one of the greatest finals of all time. One thing I want to talk about is, do you see the picture of LeBron when he found out he was going to the NBA Finals?
No.
When they beat the Nuggets, everyone was celebrating. LeBron James sat on the floor and just stared. Did not look excited the least bit. I think that is proving testament for how hard it's going to be for the Heat. LeBron is in his zone right now. Who's not going to celebrate when they make the NBA Finals? He sat down on the floor and just sat there. When they took a picture after the game too, where everyone held up 4 fingers. I thought it was for LeBron's 4 rings, but it just means 4 more wins. Everyone held up 4 fingers. Everyone's like smiling. LeBron James is sitting in the middle, dead-faced. LeBron James is in a scary place right now.
Oh, the Heat have to be scared.
I think that this Heat team is going to have to play their heart out. I would love to see them win it. I think the Lakers are going to, but I think it's possible if the Heat play good enough and click well enough, they could pull it out in 7. But that's why I'm saying it can't be more than 7. LeBron is going to push this as far as he can.
Well, it can't be more than 7. That's not possible. I meant
less than 7.
That's not possible.
Hey, we'll go more than 7. We'll do 8 games. It's a special year.
9-game series, best of 9. Oh, wait. It's good to 9. Let's go best of 11 now.
Oh my, it's tied still. Yeah,
It's 13.
I mean, I'm very excited. I am very excited to see how this plays
too.
out. As a basketball fan, I have not been this excited to watch an NBA Finals that isn't the Warriors and Cavs, or just any finals with the Warriors. Thank God.
Oh yeah, the Warriors aren't in it for the first time in 6 years. I think
it's either this is Andre Iguodala's 6th year in the finals, so 5 years.
5 years.
Because Andre Iguodala was on all of those teams.
So the first time in 5 years.
My little sister is 6 years old. She's seen the Warriors not in the finals this year. That's it. She also doesn't like basketball, but
that's a crazy stat right there.
It is. Especially Andre Iguodala, a player that when he was on the 76ers was just seen as an athletic man. Mm-hmm. He's a good player. He's not a leader. I mean, he wasn't a leader of any of those teams, but Andre Iguodala, you could have never told anyone when he was on the 76ers or the Nuggets, that man's going to go to 6 straight NBA finals.
No.
And be a part of every single one of those teams, a big part. I think that's also something that could possibly get Andre Iguodala into the Hall of Fame. Not a first ballot Hall of Famer. He knows how to win. He learned from the best, the Warriors.
He has 4 rings.
3, I believe.
3. Because
they lost against the Raptors and they lost against the Cavs once.
Okay, and this is his 6th time there. So yeah, he has 3 rings. 3 rings.
Yeah, okay.
Going for 4.
We're not very good at math.
We're not. It's been a long day. I have not left my desk since 10 a.m. this morning.
And I've been watching soccer.
Between class, internship, and then an interview with the head of social media for William Raymond Communications, a really cool company. That video is on the channel if you guys want to check it out.
Way to advertise.
That was a little plug in there. It was a really cool interview.
That's awesome.
It was really fun. I really enjoyed it. The guy's name is Shahab Meyer. Mm-hmm. And if you haven't heard of William Raymond, which is, I wouldn't be surprised if you've never heard of that brand, but he says some of the big name athletes that they cover at the beginning. The biggest name is Adrian Peterson.
Adrian Peterson?
He has met and ran the social media account for AP.
That's awesome.
There's some basketball players on there. He is actually, they are in LA. So he is huge Lakers right now.
Oh man. Did he give his opinion on what's going to happen?
We actually talked afterwards and he's the Lakers all day is what he said.
Absolutely. Of course he's in LA.
He's in LA. He is in the city. So
that's crazy. That's cool.
Do you have anything else about this NBA finals that has already tipped off and we are still somewhat talking about what we are expecting in this finals?
Yeah, I know they started 15 minutes ago. I hope nothing important happened.
LeBron fell down and
I'm just saying if LeBron wins this ring, I think the conversation is going to change from Michael Jordan as GOAT, because it's already changed a little bit to where a lot of people are saying LeBron GOAT. I think it's going to convince a lot of people if he wins this finals that he is the greatest player of all time.
I would say he's the greatest of our generation. I have always found it hard to name one player as the greatest of all time.
Mm-hmm. It's hard for a lot of people.
The main reason behind that is how much the sport has changed over the years.
Yes.
And that's in any sport you want to talk about, but except for hockey, because Gretzky is just insane.
He's just a god.
Football, the main argument's Tom Brady, greatest of all time. It's really hard to argue that or against that.
Right.
Because dynasties don't happen in the NFL.
Except for the Patriots.
And who was the head of the Patriots for all those years.
Right. That would be Tom Brady.
6 rings. That's the most ever in NFL history.
Right.
But Belichick has more because Belichick won 2 before he came to the Patriots. So he has 8.
Who did he win with? I didn't
New York. New York Giants.
He was a Giants coach? Man,
yeah,
I really know nothing about
actually,
football.
he was the assistant coach, and it's a crazy story when the Patriots requested to interview him. The head coach of the Giants at the time, I think it was Pat Sherman, stepped down as head coach, trying to get Belichick to take the spot in the Giants and deny the Patriots the interview to hire Belichick.
It seems like they knew something about Belichick.
They did, because
he likes to deflate footballs.
Deflate.
That's what I said.
Oh, they said deflate, and that is a giant scam. I could make a whole video on that.
As a Colts fan, I'm still sad.
I honestly could make a whole video on why Deflategate never really happened.
Don't even get me started. I'm a Colts fan. Don't get me emotional right
So
now, okay?
if you guys want that video, drop it down below. I will make a video and I will completely tear apart Deflategate.
Please do.
Please do. Okay, I will do it. I will make a whole video.
I will
on
literally
why
be your
Deflategate
audience.
was a scam.
I will mute myself and let you record it and let you just see my anger.
Okay. There, I'll have to do a little bit more research. I know majority of the facts. I could probably nail out about 10 minutes of facts right now on it.
Please don't.
I'm not going to. Let's watch the NBA Finals. This video is not about football. It's about the NBA. Lakers, Heat. It's gonna be a good one.
It's gonna be a good one.
All right. Thank you all for tuning in. Make sure you like and subscribe. Crafty, you have anything else to say?
Peace out.